So just going to carry on from the last tutorial and just finish off unwrapping this guy, hopefully. It's one of those annoying little projecty, one of the annoying little things that you have to do. It always seems to take a lot longer than you expect. It's yeah, I'm just going to carry on unwrapping, and I'm going to start by getting the slide out of the way. So I'm just going to select all the polygons down this side, and you guessed it, a planar map along the x-axis. You see I've missed out the little grippy section there. I'm going to try and unwrap the actual main part of it first. Planar we want Z, I believe. Going to need to rotate anti-clockwise 90 degrees. Select this edge along the top, or the edges along the top, and we're going to do the stitch. Okay, we just need to do the front and back now, really. What are these guys doing? Planar Z-axis as well. We want to rotate 90 degrees and just bung these on the top. The front here where they're meant to go. Tool, stitch. Yes. Last but not least, we just want to do this small section on the back here. I've always been a bit annoyed with Max that it doesn't have a hide polygon tool inside the actual UV map editor, because it's a right pain in the bum seeing what you have and haven't unwrapped. It's silly, really. I mean, the best thing to do would be able to unwrap something, hide it, unwrap something, hide it, but my lovely friends at Autodesk don't seem to want to add that feature. So I've just unwrapped that section at the back with another planar map and attached it on. That's sort of the main section there. I think I'll probably get this. Kind of lost where I am. I just had a phone call. I think I was just unwrapping this little section at the top, wasn't I? So I'll just carry on with that. To be honest, by now I'm hoping you probably know what to do. It's all just a matter of planar maps, planar map this, planar map that. There's that last little section in there. Yes, that is the right edge. Right. I'm trying to figure out what's the top and what's bottom. That's the top. I'm going to rotate this like so. Sometimes it can be quite hard to tell what you have and haven't got selected. But I generally use the viewport. You see you get your little XYZ gizmo there. I'll select these two verts, moves over here, so I'm guessing it's those two verts rather than those two verts. So it's these two sections that line up. over here. I'm not going to attach them together or anything because they're not attached. I'm just going to go through and unwrap this last little section. Also going to save it quick because, as I said before, it's not nice having to re-unwrap things. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know how to unwrap and know what I mean. When things break, having to start all of this boring process again, you want to pull out your hair, that's for sure, and cry like a girl, and throw your computer out the window, and smash it with a hammer, and say grrr, grrr. Shit. Right. What I want to do is just get rid of this little section. So I'm going to collapse, select this element, hide selected. So it just gives me better access to this small inside section. Select them on the unwrap modifier once again, and just get going, getting this section out of the way. Oh, forgot to turn off the normalised map. So yeah, I'm just doing exactly what I've been doing the whole time. Just going through. Unwrapping every little section bit by bit. And I'm going to carry on doing that. Till every little bit has been unwrapped. Every little bit. I'm really trying to half rush through this now because I think you've had a good idea, but I don't really want to skip anything out in these tutorials. The whole idea is that I was going to do everything from start to finish and let people watch, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know how to unwrap and who are sitting watching this thinking I'm doing it all wrong or absolutely bored out of their nuts. But I also know there's probably quite a lot of people that don't know how to do this and probably also bored, but perhaps learning something. But where's that going? I'm hoping that if you do know how to do this, you're probably not sitting watching it, you've probably skipped on to another tutorial. And therefore probably wouldn't have heard me say that. But if you are a noob at unwrapping, I hope you're getting a bit of an idea of some insight in how it's done. I mean, this is to say you can see why it's quite good deleting half of your geometry, because you only really have to unwrap half as much, which of course saves you quite a fair bit of time, because as you can see this takes quite a while to do. I'm just hoping I don't have to do this in 3 tutorials. Can't say I've ever unwrapped a bit of grip like this. Trying to figure out the best way of doing it. I think what I'm going to do is just only map this. Like so. Just going to scale these together a touch because I'm just a little bit messy. And what I do want to do is just select all of these, right click and hit break to detach them off of the geometry, which I'd selected. Wait, actually let me explain that better. If I can undo it. Right, you can see how this polygon is attached to this polygon at the top here. You can see this polygon here is moving with the movement of the one I have selected. I don't want that to happen. I know it's going to be the same on all of these. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click while having them selected and just hit break. And that should sort out that problem. What I'm then going to do is just uniform scale all of these in. I just want a little gap on the map just so they're a little easier to texture when the time comes. Like so. And the only other section I need to unwrap are these, and I'm just going to have them all overlap. So I'm just going to select them all, unwrap along the y-axis there, and I'm just going to plonk it down alongside all of this other geometry. Stick it on the edge here. Is that this whole inside section? Let's have a quick peek, make sure it's all done. Yeah, that's all of that. Just going to scale him around. So I'll just fill up this little gap here. Like so. Save it again. Right, what's next? Where's that unwrapped? Bummer. In fact, I may well delete those faces just there in a second. What face is that? Yeah, I'll get rid of that as well. Alright. To unwrap this section, what I'm going to do is be very lazy. I'm just going to select all of it. And I'm going to unwrap along the Z-axis, so straight down, like so. And then I'm just going to select the one large polygon in the middle. And I'm just going to scale it in. Also a little slight uniform scale. That will do. Also just going to basically fill in this top little hole where it originally came from. like so. That little section there is this little slidey bit there. It's plainier. Then I'm going to do the Z-axis and just have a fiddle about. I may be able to unwrap all of it. So I'm going to select these two edges at the bottom. Just going to put it out with my scale tool. I'm going to select this polygon in the middle here and pull it in with my uniform scale tool. That's that done. Quick twist around, chuck it on top. I think that's the front sight. Right. I'm going to map and flatten map. Slam OK. Right, I want both of these sections to be directly on top of each other. So I've put on my snap to grid tool. Put those both on top of each other. What's this? Front and back. Okay, I'm going to put both of these on top of each other as well. And that's the top. That's that done as well. So just going to go through and do this back sight as well. Tools, flatten mapping, OK. From what we're left, we're just going to go through and give it a bit of a rearrange. Oh, the front's been deleted, isn't it? Yes. Oh, that's not very good. I don't like that. Oh. Scale down, scale down, scale down. Want these to overlap each other. And to conform onto there. Da, 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 da. In fact, I believe I've done that a little bit wrong. Needs me to be rotated round. Now, oh, something's going a little wrong here. Show no seams. Alright. Bum, bum, bum. Arr. So I should no doubt be explaining what I'm doing a bit better on this unwrapping. I just hate it with a passion. I did want to do this tutorial a couple of weeks ago, but I ended up not being wanting to do it because I just hate this unwrapping so much. It's been hard to find the motivation to do it. Anyway, I was going to sort of chuck that on there. That'll most likely do. Scale it down a touch. I want to get this little section out of the way. I think I'm just going to select all this stuff on the side here. Just going to do a planar map on the X side. I'm just going to then just go through and stretch out all the polygons. Can't imagine this is the cleanest way of doing it, but I just want to get this out of the way now. I'm sure people are probably bored of my voice. I'm going to put the checker on. It's a bit hard to see. Let's go align everything using the old uniform scale. Excuse me. I just need to do the front and back as well now. Just going to select the edges, select the front and back. You know, when we unwrap that, we'll have two different elements in our unwrap. Just going to drag them over here. There we go. Untick the elements. Just going to use my uniform scale to scale them correctly. Oh, I need that tool. All this scaling lot takes absolutely ages. Alright, so you just want to stitch the selected. Or is this the back, I think? Edge. doing? There we go. Tools, stitch selected. Nice. Cancel. Tools, stitch selected. There we go. I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world that has a love-hate relationship with this program. One minute he wants to be your friend, and then the next minute he hates you. And damn, it hates you with a passion. I mean, it's not me. It's obviously not me doing anything wrong. It's all the tools. Alright. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to collapse the mesh again. Yes, save. And I'm going to just go through and just delete some more of these edges that I don't want, i.e. I can't be bothered to unwrap. Delete. Again, I don't think they're really going to be seen from this position here. Oh, also got that edge polygon here to get rid of. There we go. So just going to try and rush through those last little bits. Put the unwrap modifier back on. Edit. Slight rearrange up here. Shrink them down a bit. In fact, I think I might actually stick it in this gap just here that we've got. Make the best use of this space as we can, as always. Scale that out for a minute so I can see it. Alright, so last couple of bits. Mapping, flatten map, yes, please. Fit that there. It's going to flip horizontally as well, just so it's matched up correctly with the top half. Like so. Flip the whole lot again. Just going to line it up with the rest of our model. Lives in there. Just going to select this element as well. Flatten map, yes please. And again, just really going to go through and just attach it all up. Tools, stitch selected. Okay. Just going to unwrap this tiny little bit here again because I didn't want to do it very well. Oh, sorry. Other side. Down. Planar Y. That's the line. That's the line. Mapping, flying up. Okay. stupid program. Wow. Right, gonna have to do it the slow way. Tool stitch selected, yes. Again. Oh. Ah. Tool stitch selected. Whoa, whoa. Said, no, that's the problem. I really hope people are skipping these tutorials, because they are a little bit boring. I'm hoping by now you've got some kind of good idea about what the hell I'm actually doing. Like, the main thing you're going to want really is just the actual final bit, which is just arranging everything on the map, really. Last little section, this guy. Plania Vesta line. Right, that is a stupid way of lining it. So I'm just going to look down from on top of it. I'm going to do... I'll try a line to view, see what that comes out like. Probably a little bit of a mess, really. Okay. It's not too bad, but what I'm going to do is target world. I basically plonk the vert right on top of each other. Like so. It's going to uniform scale this line along here. Like so. Okay. I'll wrap this curve around here in two sections. So you've got one from the side, and then one from the front. then just going to attach them together and align them up. Tool stitch selected. Okay. Select the verts along the bottom. Uniform scale, holding down the shift key. Just dragging straight down. And the same with the top. And pull them apart, smidgen. I'm going to be real lazy with this bit. Oh. I'm just going to select this polygon at the top and just scale it in. Actually, in fact, I'm going to select all these ones around the outside. I'm going to cylindrical mapping, which we've done before, on the x-axis. I'm just going to rotate till our green marker is where I want it. There's where it is. So I just want it round the back. Right. That looks to me like everything is unwrapped. Now we need to fit all of this in this little box here. So I'm just going to start by scaling things down. Get them half decent size to go in. It's another one of those little boring jobs that always needs to be done. All just outside of our box. Right. To be honest, there's not much to this. It's just you've got to imagine it all as a nice puzzle, and that you're trying to fit everything in as best as you can. I'm just going to select this. I'm just going to select my polygon actually. Let's call it top slide. In case we need to go through and select it again. What else have we got? Barrel. Clip. There's a big main section in. So yeah, just remember what the most important bits are of your gun, because they need the most space. And as you can see, it can get a little bit cramped in this little box. When I say a little bit cramped, I mean very cramped. This little section here isn't too important. I'm going to put select by element on as well. clip a little bit bigger. Going to slightly rotate our barrel 90 degrees and just bung it in the bottom here. And this cap. And now all these other little twaddly little bits we're just going to try and fit in surrounding areas. So you just want to get in all your main sections first and then fill up the gaps. I might even make the clip a little bit bigger. Oh, everything's so big. That's why you want to keep everything as clean as you can as you go along. Otherwise you end up with a horrible, horrible big mess. Bung the trigger in. Doesn't need to be very big at all. It's that little inside curvature section in here, which is barely going to be seen by anyone. Bung that in there. One of those random little square things. I mean, say like a little bit like that, I know it's not too important, but to say if there's space left, just make everything as big as you can. Just as long as your most important bits are as big as they can get, really. For they are the most important. Little section in there. Right, I think what I'm going to do is have a bit of a rearrange. I feel that this trigger guard is a lot more important than some of these other sections. In fact, that might fit in here quite nicely. Snug. What else have we got? Got the oh, which one of these isn't very important. But which one is it? It's the back sight there. I'm going to leave that for 2 seconds until I find out what's what. Right, so I'm just going to collapse the mesh, yes, and the element select, I'm just going to unhide all. And what I want to do is just delete this polygon down the back here, because that isn't needed. And then I'm just going to put the unwrap modifier on again, edit, and that circle that was just there has disappeared, and I'm just going to replace it with this guy here. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this one down. I'm just going to move these two around, because this one deserves to be a little bit bigger. It's going to be seen, whereas the other one isn't. Right, I think that's about it, really. Might have a fiddle about off camera, but it's just a matter of arranging your UVs to fit in as snugly as you can, using up as much space as you can. I don't think that's too bad. I'm also going to put the checker on. Oh, what's happened there? There we go, so that is our model unwrapped and ready to be textured. And I'll be bringing this into Photoshop on the next tutorial. Have fun.